I feel better than ever, honestly. I'm pumped. It's been a long road, a long career, ups and downs. And last year was a bit of a down, missing the Olympic team by one spot, and that was a really tough pill to swallow. But I made some big changes this year. I've been able to stay healthy and stay consistent, and I just went out there and had to execute. And I'm very, very pleased with what I was able to do today.
So what were the meaningful changes that you made?
Well, I've been through multiple coaching changes since 2021, so kind of jumping around, trying to figure out where I want to be for the rest of my career. What do I need? Who do I need by my side? And so I'm training now in Kentucky at the University of Louisville with Brooke Rasnick, and she has really been a blessing for me because at this point I need someone who is just going to be my partner, and I already know so much about what is going to help me, what I've already been successful doing, like in training, but I needed someone with just like to sit down and really talk about training with me and figure out the perfect training plan for me to help me stay healthy and help me get me to where I need to be at the age of 33. So it's been great, and she's very down to earth and level-headed and just very smart, and she helped me out there a lot today with when to pass, what adjustments to make. That's huge, and when you're under pressure and the competition's going fast, it's awesome when you have a coach who can think calmly and clearly and help you make those little decisions that make it a make or a miss.
You talked about when you're looking forward to the arc at the end. Are you thinking like 28 or 29 would be your last seasons or not?
My goal is to go through LA 2028 and not just make it to LA 2028, but I want to still be at this level when 2028 comes around, and that is the goal. But staying healthy is the key, and so my training nowadays looks very different than it did 5 years ago, but I'm still able to do the same thing on the runway, and that's what you have to do in this sport if you're looking for longevity, is get really creative and keep experimenting until you find the right formula.
How is your training different? Do you now do less?
I do less days on the track, more days in the weight room, more days doing a lot of physical therapy, like a lot of physical therapy circuits combined with med ball work, and strength and conditioning is huge. And I would say only 2 days of explosive work on the track coupled with my weight room, whereas 5 years ago I'd be on the track five days a week, but my body doesn't need that much volume anymore, and now we've honed in on anything that isn't directly applicable to what I'm doing on the runway. Scratch it, get rid of it, and only do the things that are worth the risk. Because training, there's risk in training when you're trying to do this into your 30s. So it's always a learning process.
What was the vibe like that out there? Because it was very indeterminate for almost the entire competition who the world team was going to be. I mean, standings were changing, people were making clutch. It was kind of wild.
Yeah. That's kind of the pole vault for you, though. You never know what you're going to get. You can have a day where very rarely, I'll say this, very rarely do you have a day where everything goes exactly as predicted. And today was definitely one of those days where the wind is kind of all over the place. We've got some young girls coming up, the Mole twins. They're the next talents of the U.S. and they already are here. Obviously, they just made the team. But it's who can do this, who can execute the most consistently down the runway, and that's who's going to make teams. And it's really hard to do. It's just really hard to do consistency in the pole vault.